I'm going to make a chef-inspired salmon dish today. While we were away for Valentine's Day, we went to a little tavern for our dinner, and I had Cumin crusted salmon. Very thick cut of salmon, just cooked perfectly. And I talked to the chef and found out his secret. Follow along. I did pick up the salmon on sale or on markdown at Aldi. Regular, you know, $9 basically, $8.90 with a $3 off coupon. This is less than 5 ingredients, so, you know, 4 ingredients, fantastic. The cumin just gives it the best flavor. The secret to this dish is in how you cook it. Because I'm going to make a crust out of this, I'm going to use 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. I'm going to cut off the dry ends and use the little food chopper to help me just chop that really, really finely. And the scallion or the green onion. So I'm going to put that into the food processor. Remember, this part we plant right away. I plant it outside. It grows, and then we have that perpetual onion I was telling you about earlier. I'm going to use mainly the bottom part. Get this as finely chopped as I can. I'm going to give these a rough chop just to get them started. We had this the other day, so I know repeating. Usually I don't repeat dishes, you know, within a week or two. I do tend to get bored. That's the ADD in me, but this was so successful. There's a few things I wanted to change, add a little more flavor to it. So I am going to chop this in the food processor. It's not as fine as I want it still, but it is a good start. So I'm going to take this out and move it to the cutting board and make it into a paste. So moving that to the plastic cutting board. It's a little easier to clean than my wooden cutting board. Move that off. I'm going to start with just about a teaspoon of salt. And I want to work this into a paste. So continue mashing it with a fork, dragging it back into the pile. Usually I do this with just garlic, but I wanted the crust to go a little further and not to be too overwhelming with the garlic. What we're doing is convincing the garlic and the onion to cooperate. We want it to break down and form the basis of the crust. Next is the cumin. It's not a flavor I would have thought to pair with salmon. Now you need quite a substantial amount of cumin. So I actually have my tiny 1/8 of a cup measuring cup. So it's a good amount. I'm going to go just a little bit less than 1/8 a cup, but it is quite a bit. So a couple good flavors. It's not something I would pair with salmon, but it works. I'm going to work this into a paste. The last time we had it, this paste was a little too dry because of the cumin. And so this time, as I get the garlic and onion worked in, I'm also going to dribble in just a few sprinkles of water to maintain that paste consistency. I'm going to put just a few, literally a few drops of water, just to help the cumin rehydrate and you know, be more of a paste or a crust. So when we put this onto the salmon, it's not going to be dry. You can probably use this technique with other spices if you have something else that you're just in love with. Do that. So let's see if we can crust salmon with other things. I don't put any more salt in it. This fish itself actually has, you know, enough salt on its own, and then everyone can season their own as they want to. So this just gives it that flavor. Another thing I like to do when I'm marinating or letting, you know, a meat sit, and it has its own little tray. This comes from Aldi, just like this, kind of vacuum sealed, is I want to, you know, do less dishes. So I'm gonna come on, just open up around the fish. I have my little kitchen shears. These will go straight into the wash. These really need to be sharpened. But I'm just removing that top plastic. I will drain and dry the fish. I'm actually going to rinse it to be sure that there's no, you know, pin bones or anything like that. So this one has been rinsed. I felt all around. I don't feel any pin bones or any kind of thing that they missed. It has been put back in its original tray, and the top is dry. So I just blotted that with a paper towel. That way the crust, or whatever it is you want to call it, sticks very well. So I'm just going to spread this out using a rubber spatula and get it started. You just want to get that all over as much as you can. So the amount of crust that you need to make is going to depend on how much salmon you're cooking or whatever fish. I imagine this could be done with other fish as well. I just happen to have salmon crusted, or cumin crusted salmon when we went out. So it was my idea. That was the idea, inspired by the chef. His dish. The chef at Old Orchard Tavern in North Carolina. I think they do just variety of seasonal things. There were some things that were on their website that I was really excited to try. Basically, I wanted to try the crab cakes, and they looked amazing. They had crab cakes and Brussels sprouts, but that's not what they were offering. So we got the Valentine's Day menu. So he serves local foods and changes the flavors up, things like that, which is awesome. My husband had a ribeye steak that he is still talking about. So that's it. That's all you have to do. This is going to go into a 450-degree oven, but there's a catch. I talked to the chef. What you do is you have a screaming hot cast iron pan. So the key here is to take my cast iron pan that's well seasoned, loved to death. I'm going to put it in the oven, 450 degrees for 25 minutes, just like it is. I'm going to open the oven for 15 seconds, spray it with a nonstick spray, slap the fish skin side down, close the oven up as fast as I can, and let that bake until the fish is done. The key to this fish being done, completely done, top to bottom, is the hot cast iron and the oven being hot. So the chef said the high temperature oven is the key. Hot pan, cold fat, going right back in the oven. And there you go, fresh out of the oven, still popping and sizzling. I will make sure this largest part is done, but this is divine. I'm going to let it sit and rest, and we will have this one later with dinner. And I'll show you, look, absolutely no sticking. So the bottom, see if I can flip it without making a big mess. The bottom is nice and crispy. None of the fish stuck to my pan, of course. Lost a little bit of the crust right there, but it's not a big deal. Like I said, we're going to chew it up anyway. I usually say that when we're worried about something. The crust has stuck. All those flavors have sunk into the salmon. I'm going to let it rest and let everything get happy, and we will devour this one for dinner. We paired this with some mashed potatoes and my famous sauteed green beans, and then a quick tomato, onion, and cucumber salad. Thanks for watching.